Hello everyone, it's Foo here, and today I'm back with another Why You Should Use episode, all about Frosmoth. We'll give you the lowdown on its stats, abilities, moves, and telling you what you could do with it in battle. And let me tell you, it's not just a Quiver Dance set. This thing has a lot more going for it than that. Over on John's channel,
we're going to be looking at its fiery counterpart, Scorch, a very cool, brand new fire bug Pokemon, a little bit more on the physical side to complement the Volcarona we already have. But before we jump into that, let's look at Frosmoth a little bit deeper. And it's just going to start with how beautiful this Pokemon is. We've been waiting for an ice bug type for a while. They definitely did not disappoint with this very pretty moth. And it talks about its icy scales in the flavor text, and cool enough to go along with that, it has a brand new ability called Ice Scales. Now, Ice Scales is a fantastic ability where the Pokemon is protected by those scales, which have the damage taken from special moves. This is insane. Half damage from all special moves out there. You're always going to be wanting to take special moves. This is not something typing wise you want to take, physical moves with, and it's got a 60 defensive stat, which isn't amazing. Now, to go along with the stats, it does have 125 special attack, already that decent 90 special defense with the ability. This thing is really going to be specially based, really powerful on that side. And to go along with it, Ice is a pretty solid offensive typing, Ice Bug, some solid special moves to go along with it.
Looking at its attacking moves, it does get Ice Beam and Blizzard for Ice Stab, very good options there, and also Bug Buzz for the Bug Stab, which is great. Then the coverage is a bit iffy, I'd say. Giga Drain is nice for some recovery and hitting water types. Air Slash is really the only move you get to hit fire types, and Dazzle and Gleam is there just for a bit more random coverage, I guess. But other than that, not too much in terms of coverage. You've got U-Turn, which is an interesting option here, and also Mirror Coat, which can pair up quite nicely with the Ice Scales ability because you are able to tank a lot of special hits. Looking at the setup, and we do have Quiver Dance, which is obviously a big selling point for this Pokemon. Most butterflies get it, and it's a very powerful setup move. It does only have 65 speed, which is going to limit how quick it becomes after a Quiver Dance. But if you get enough up, this thing can become a sweeper, although it is slightly limited by the coverage that I just mentioned. You've got nothing to hit steel types and fire types, so you don't hit very hard either. Other setup, it's got Tailwind, which is nice to boost speed more than Quiver Dance, and we've put Calm Mind in there, but you can forget about that because it's basically just an inferior Quiver Dance. Utility, you get Stun Spore, which is pretty nice for paralyzing opponents, getting some speed control. Defog, which on the face of it isn't so good because we've got an Ice Bug here that's weak to Stealth Rock, but you can mitigate that, and we'll talk about that more in the sets. Hail's important because you can then go for accurate blizzards. Aurora Veil you can set up in hail, and you've got the other screens there if you don't want to rely on hail.
The first set we're going to be looking at is probably the most logical set to really jump to, as this is a really scary Quiver Dance user. At least it seems like it would be a fantastic one. Now, the one thing really holding this Pokemon back, I would say, is its speed stat. Quiver Dance is absolutely going to help that out, as you will be getting +1 speed, +1 special attack, and +1 special defense every time you set it up. So as long as you are setting up on the right thing, most likely a specially offensive Pokemon or just a wall in general, this thing can be incredibly scary if you are able to get enough Quiver Dances up. You want to make sure you're giving this thing 252 speed, Timid Nature to really give it the best possible chance to sweep, as the speed is the one thing that's really lagging behind. The 252 special attack, you could even invest that a little bit more in HP if you wanted, as it has that really high special attack stat, but just for the sake of this, 252 special attack will be fantastic. You want to have any sort of an item that is going to help this out, whether it's Focus Sash, Heavy Duty Boots, or maybe even a Berry just to kind of cover up one of its big weaknesses like rocks. Whatever you think is going to be best or fits with the team. And when we look at the moves, Quiver Dance, of course, Ice Beam, of course, to have that stab, but then it gets a little bit tricky as there's nothing for this Pokemon to hit steel types. There's no hidden power in this game. I already know people are feverishly commenting, hidden power fire, hidden power fire. That's not a possibility. So Bug Buzz for stab could be fantastic. You could also go with Giga Drain, get some health back, hit a few different things. But with the final move, we are going to have either Hurricane or Air Slash, because if you can't hit steel types with any of the other coverage moves, at least with flying coverage, we will be able to hit fire types at least neutrally, which is really important.
The next set we're looking at is a Choice Spec set, because this thing has an insane special attack stat, and it's definitely able to put that damage out there, with the Choice Specs taking its damage output to really high levels. We've got the ability Ice Scales there, because when you've got an ability that halves incoming damage, you're going to use it. That's just too invaluable. Even though Shield Dust is such a good ability, you're not going to see it because Ice Scales is so good. Although it's hard to get. Hidden ability, only max raid battles. In terms of the EVs, we've got max special attack, obviously because we need to get as much power out there as possible with the choice specs, and max speed. We've put timid nature here because the speed is the thing that you need to mitigate the most. But if you want to go modest nature, it is definitely an option there. And the attacks, we're going Ice Beam to hit hard and accurately rather than Blizzard. Bug Buzz because it's the best bug type move you can use. Giga Drain to hit some water types that might want to switch in. And then probably Hurricane, maybe U-Turn. As we said, you need to be able to hit fire types, and Hurricane is the best option for that. U-Turn is nice there though. If you're predicting a steel type to come in, you can U-Turn instead and get in something to take out the steel type, so this thing can do even more damage.
This next set is a personal favorite of mine, and before you get to the comments again, you can use Assault Vest and Mirko, as Mirko is a specially based move, so you actually can use this. I know we had this set on a previous Pokemon. A lot of people are confused, and you are exactly the person we are trying to trick. With Assault Vest and Icy Scales max HP, this thing is going to be taking every single special hit thrown in it, and if you wait for the right one, you click Mirko and you're just going to decimate whatever fired that attack off at you, which is really nice. We do have max speed timid on here, so you can kind of bluff the fact that you would even have anything like Mirko, because obviously Mirko would make you go last, so you still can hit people with the Ice Beam, which will be really nice. Giga Drain is a solid move just to try to get some more health as Assault Vest. You'll be able to take hits better, but obviously you're not going to be able to recover health, and this Pokemon unfortunately doesn't get Roost, which stinks. U-Turn's just a nice move as you can pivot around, as you do want to take hits, get out of there if they're going to bring in something that you really can't hit or really do much to. I really like this. I think this could be really fun. It's going to tank a ton of hits. It is still going to be really weak to, you know, Stealth Rocks and Rock moves, but in the right situation, you can get some really fun kills with it.
The last set that we've got here is a Heavy Duty Boots set, and it's just such a great day and age to be alive when you've got a bug and ice type being introduced, a beautiful Pokemon, and Game Freak acknowledge that it's going to be decimated by Stealth Rock, so they've added an item, Heavy Duty Boots. I really think that it's only because of this Pokemon and Center Scorch that this item was added, because we want to see as much of them as possible. They're beautiful designs. So Heavy Duty Boots will protect it from any damage from entry hazards like Stealth Rock, Spikes, Toxic Spikes. You won't get affected by Sticky Web. It's amazing. Really helpful for this Pokemon, which would otherwise get really hurt by them. Again, the ability Ice Scales, we don't need to go over that again. And the EVs, we're having a similar spread to the Assault Vest set because we want this thing to be relatively bulky, but as fast as possible, because it's a defog set. Now, who would have thought a bug and ice type would be an effective defogger? But it can be because of those Heavy Duty Boots. And it's actually got some really nice utility moves that you can combine with Heavy Duty Boots, like Stun Spore for some really good speed control there, paralyzing the opponents, allowing you to outspeed even more things. You've got the U-Turn on there to keep the momentum up, which is very helpful, and Ice Beam is good for taking on things like ground types that might want to set up the entry hazards or set up Spikes and Stealth Rock. You can take them on really well with the Ice Beam there, so it's probably the best move to put on. And all in all, this set is surprisingly effective, and I think it demonstrates that Frosmoth is far more than just a Quiver Dance sweeper, because even then it's probably not even a very good Quiver Dance sweeper. I think that there are far more options that you can run with it, and it's such a beautiful Pokemon, so you need to try these things out and see what works for you.
Taking a look at doubles, Frosmoth looks like it would be fantastic in doubles on paper, but we're really worried about Rock Slide spam and Heat Wave spam, as especially Rock Slide is going to take this thing out every single time, and you know, you're just going to see Rock Slide and Heat Wave all over the place. So that's a big thing to worry about. It does get Wide Guard, which can protect itself. Obviously, other Pokemon will have Wide Guard, which is really helpful, but that's the #1 thing to keep in mind. Now, it does have a bunch of different moves that'd be really helpful. Icy Wind, Struggle Bug, Feather Dance are all going to be able to harass your opponent's Pokemon and lower some of their stats, which is fantastic. Aurora Veil is really nice. You know, all of the snowboarding users do get Aurora Veil in this generation, so it's not as amazing as it might have been last gen, but still an incredible move, and you know, it definitely could make sense on this Pokemon, just depending on the Hail team you have. Wide Guard, again, is going to be fantastic. I'm going to keep bringing that up because that is imperative for this Pokemon, and once again, Quiver Dance is going to be really important, so this thing can potentially set up, take a ton of hits, and decimate your opponent's team. Now, looking at abilities, Ice Scales is still the best ability for it, but you definitely can use Shield Dust, as that is going to make it so that Fake Out will not flinch this Pokemon, as Shield Dust makes it so damaging moves used by the opponent will not have an additional effect. So this can be really helpful in a lot of ways. I don't know, maybe have Focus Hash on this thing. It takes a Rock Slide and doesn't flinch. Things like that will be really solid. But looking at the partner ideas, Distractors will be incredible. Things like Follow Me and Rage Powder, just so this Pokemon can set up Quiver Dances, not get decimated, and then once it can actually outspeed things, it can just start taking Pokemon out one by one and be very, very scary. Wide Guard, once again, very important so this Pokemon doesn't go down. And the final really good partner will be Electric Pokemon, as they do complement each other. Frosmoth will be able to take out the Ground and Grass Pokemon that Electric types will struggle with, and Electric types can take out Water Pokemon, which are a little bit tougher for Frosmoth to take out itself.
So that's our take on Frosmoth. I love it. The design is beautiful and it's got so much going for it. So many different ways to use it, and people really overlook that fact. So don't be one of those people. But that's all for Frosmoth for now. Go over to John's channel where we check out the other new bug Pokemon, Center Scorch. Another amazing design. Looks incredible. So you need to see what sets we come up with for that one, because again, there are a lot of things that you can do with it. That's all from me. I've been Foo, you've been awesome, and hopefully see you next time. Goodbye.